Chapter 3, Run. Get out! Dad's voice sliced through the air, sharp and panicked. He threw open his door with the force that made the car rock, grabbing my arm and yanking me into the night. I didn't even understand what was happening. His grip was tight, almost painful. But I didn't care. Fear flooded my body, freezing my thoughts as I stumbled out onto the cold pavement. Alex, move! He barked, shoving me forward. My legs were like jelly, but I forced them to move, to keep up with the urgency in his voice. Behind me, I heard Mom's frantic cry. She was struggling with Danny, who was slumped in his seat, a dark stream of blood trailing down his forehead. His head had hit the window during the crash, and now he was barely conscious, his small body limp as she pulled him into her arms. I wanted to help her, to run back and do something, but my feet wouldn't listen. They stayed glued to the ground, my mind spinning with the awful realization of what was coming. Then I heard it, the unmistakable sound, footsteps, shuffling, slow, dragging, a chorus of them, growing louder with every second. My heart lurched in my ribcage, beating so fast I thought it might explode. I turned, and that's when I saw them. The scene was terrifying. They were emerging from the shadows like something out of a nightmare. Dozens of them. Their eyes, once human, were now glassy and wild, glowing faintly under the moonlight. Their faces were twisted into grotesque sneers, mouths open in unnatural shapes, as if they were caught in mid-scream or mid-laugh. Some had blood smeared across their skin, while others were barely clothed, their bodies mangled and broken. But they kept moving. They were relentless, and nothing could stop them. Terror ripped through me, colder than the night air. I couldn't tear my eyes away from the horror unfolding in front of me. These weren't people anymore. These were something else. Something monstrous. Alex, run! Dad's voice snapped me out of my frozen state. I saw him standing between us and them, his shotgun raised. His hands were shaking, but his face was battle ready. He was going to protect us, no matter what the cost. But there were too many of them. Run! He yelled again, louder this time, desperation clawing at the edges of his voice. Mum was behind me now, holding Danny tight in her arms, her breath ragged and panicked. Go, Alex! She gasped. I hesitated, looking at Dad, my heart breaking as I realised what was about to happen. He wasn't coming with us. He couldn't, not with that many of them. Dad! I cried, with my voice cracking with fear. But he didn't look at me. His eyes were fixed on the approaching horde. His jaw clenched, his finger hovering over the trigger. He didn't say anything. He just gave me a slight nod, his silent way of telling me it was okay, that I had to go. Then without another word, he fired. The blast echoed through the air, loud and violent, and one of the monsters dropped to the ground. But for every one that fell, two more appeared, emerging from the dark, their hungry eyes locked on us. Dad fired again and again, the recoil making his shoulders jerk with each shot. Alex! Mum's voice was desperate now, pleading. We have to go! She was already running, carrying Danny with what little strength she had left, her steps frantic and uneven. I couldn't move. My body refused to leave Dad behind. Every instinct in me screamed at me to stay, to fight, to help him. But deep down, I knew it would be pointless. Staying would mean death for all of us. Tears blurred my vision as I turned and ran, my feet pounding against the pavement, my lungs burning with every breath. I didn't look back. I couldn't. But I could still hear the shotgun blast behind me, each one a reminder that Dad was still fighting, still holding them back for us. The night was alive with chaos, the distant roar of fires, the wail of sirens, and the terrible guttural sounds of the flesh-eaters chasing us. I could hear them, even over the sounds flooding in my ears, their horrible moans and the relentless shuffling of their feet. They were faster than I expected, closing the distance between us with terrifying speed. Mum was ahead of me, running for her life, her grip tight on Danny as she weaved between the wreckage of abandoned cars and debris. I pushed myself harder, forcing my legs to move faster, the fear driving me forward. But the sounds, the groans, the dragging feet, they were getting closer, too close. All of a sudden, I heard a different sound, a click, followed by silence. No more gunshots. I stopped in my tracks, my chest heaving with exhaustion, my heart plummeting into a pit of cold despair. No, 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 Dad! I screamed out in pain, though I knew he couldn't hear me. The silence behind me was deafening, worse than any scream. I turned, my body shaking, and through the dim light I could just make out his figure. He was standing in the middle of the road, his shotgun hanging limply at his side. The creatures had surrounded him, their faces contorted in hatred and hunger. He didn't have any more bullets. Dad! I screamed this time, my voice raw, breaking with desperation. He looked at me then, just for a moment, his eyes meeting mine. There was no fear there, no regret, only love. And then he turned back to face them, his body blocking their path. One final last stand to give us those precious few minutes we needed to make our escape. Run, Alex! His voice was strong, commanding, and it cut through the night like a blade. I ran with everything I had, the tears streaming down my face, blurring the world around me. I heard the awful sounds behind me, the low growls, the wet thuds of bodies colliding, and I knew what was happening. I knew, but I couldn't stop. I couldn't turn back. Mum's hand grabbed mine, pulling me forward as we sprinted into the twilight, leaving behind the man who had sacrificed everything to save us. That was the day I lost my father, the day the world ended.